Hello, and welcome back to Daily Story, your home for thrilling audio adventures. This is MagicSurprise F, and we are so grateful to have you with us. If you enjoy our tales, please consider hitting that like button, sharing this episode with a friend, and subscribing to the channel so you never miss a story. Now, get comfortable and let's begin today's audiobook. Tonight, we venture into a place that was sealed for a reason, a place where the walls have memories. This is the Echo Ward. My name is Jake. I'm an urban explorer. My team, Nightfall Explorers, documents forgotten places. But what we found in the sub-basement of St. Jude's Mercy Hospital wasn't forgotten. It was imprisoned. It was a ward that isn't on any blueprint, a place where the walls themselves remember how their last patients died. St. Jude's had been abandoned for 40 years, a colossal wreck of peeling paint and shattered windows. It was the holy grail for explorers in our state. We went in at dusk, me behind the camera, Maya, our fearless leader, and Ben, our tech and history nerd. The first few floors were standard fare, creepy, decaying, and beautifully silent. We documented the operating theaters and the cavernous morgue, its steel drawers hanging open like empty mouths. It was Ben who found the anomaly. He was cross-referencing the hospital's original 1940s blueprints with a later renovation schematic from the 60s. "Guys, look at this," he said, pointing to his tablet. In the sub-basement, the original plans show a long wing here, but on the later plans, it's just a solid wall. They sealed something off. Maya's eyes lit up with the thrill of discovery. Then that's where we're going. We found it in the deepest part of the basement, a long, featureless brick wall that was visibly newer than the surrounding foundation. It radiated a strange, profound silence. When Maya knocked on it, the sound was hollow. "Get the sledgehammer," she said with a grin. An hour later, covered in brick dust and sweat, we broke through. The air that rushed out was stale, but not musty. It was cold, sterile, and utterly without dust, as if it were a vacuum-sealed tomb. I pointed my camera's light into the darkness. It revealed a long, pristine corridor. Above the opening we'd made, a faded sign read, "Ward E, Quarantine." "E for Echo," Maya whispered, her voice full of awe. We stepped inside. The change was immediate. The air was heavy, vibrating with a low, inaudible hum. The doors to the patient rooms were all closed. It was eerily preserved, like a museum exhibit no one had ever seen. Ben pulled out an EMF meter. It was silent. "No weird energy," he announced, a little disappointed. "Probably just an old TB ward they sealed up when the cure was found." Maya pushed open the first door, room E1. It was a standard hospital room, empty except for a bed, a metal nightstand, and a chair. Nothing seemed out of place. We were about to leave when it happened. The temperature plummeted, my breath plumed in the air. A sound filled the room, coming from everywhere and nowhere at once. The frantic, rhythmic beep-beep-beep of a heart monitor, speeding up, becoming a panicked shriek, and then flatlining into a single, continuous drone. As the sound faded, a flicker of movement caught my eye. For less than a second, the room was overlaid with a translucent image, a doctor in an old-fashioned white coat, his shoulders slumped over to feet over the empty bed. Then he and the sound were gone. We stood in stunned silence. "What was that?" Maya breathed. "Acoustic resonance," Ben stammered, though he didn't sound convinced. Old buildings create weird pockets of sound. But we knew better. We moved on to the next room, E2. We stepped inside, and this time the echo was faster, more violent.
the room filled with the sound of a desperate, wet gasping, a terrible struggle for breath. A ghostly image of a woman thrashing in the bed flickered before our eyes, her spectral hands clutching at her throat. I felt a phantom pressure in my own chest, my lungs burning. The feeling vanished as quickly as the echo did. This ward wasn't just replaying sounds, it was replaying moments. The agony was imprinted on the very air. We moved down the hall, a morbid curiosity pulling us forward. Each room held its own unique, terrifying vignette of death. A whispered prayer, a child crying for his mother, a sudden, violent convulsion. With each echo, the images grew clearer, lasted longer, and the emotional backlash became more intense. We were absorbing the residual pain of this place, and it was starting to wear us down. "I think we should go," I said, my voice shaking. "One more," Maya insisted, pushing open the heavy double doors to what looked like a central nurse station at the end of the hall. "We need to know why." In the center of the station was a metal desk with an open logbook. The last entry was dated October 12, 1961. The handwriting was a frantic, spidery scrawl. "It's not a virus. It's in the walls. A sympathetic contagion. The ward is sick. It's absorbing the suffering, holding on to it, replaying it. The echoes are getting stronger. They're starting to solidify." We tried to evacuate the last patients, but the fear itself has become a barrier. We are sealing it off. God forgive us. We are not containing a disease. We are burying the dead over and over again. Nurse Agnes. As Ben read the last words aloud, every door in the corridor slammed shut at once. A cacophony erupted around us. The heart monitor, the gasping, the prayers, the crying, all of them playing at the same time, a deafening symphony of death. The air shimmered. In every room, translucent figures were rising from the beds. But this time, they didn't fade. They turned their hollow, agonized eyes towards us. The entire ward had activated. They began to drift out of the rooms and into the hall, a silent, shuffling army of pain. The hole we'd made back in the wall was now obscured by a shimmering wall of pained faces. "It feeds on us watching it," I screamed, finally understanding Nurse Agnes's words. "It's a sympathetic contagion. Our fear, our attention, it makes them real." "So what do?" Maya yelled, backing away from a weeping specter. "We stop watching," I roared. "Close your eyes, cover your ears, don't give it anything." I shut my eyes tight, clamped my hands over my ears, and ran blindly towards where I knew the exit was. It was the hardest thing I've ever done. The sounds were still there, trying to get in, and I could feel the soul-deep cold as I passed through the ghostly figures. It felt like walking through solid ice. I slammed into the brick wall, a real, solid impact. I scrambled through the hole, Maya and Ben tumbling out right behind me. We didn't stop running until we were out of the hospital and in the clean night air, gasping for breath. We sealed the hole the next day, bricking it up, hiding it better than it was before. For days, I thought we were safe. Then, last night, I was woken by a strange noise in my apartment. I lay in bed frozen, straining to hear, and then it came again, faint but unmistakable, from the corner of my own dark bedroom. The slow, steady beep of a heart monitor. Thank you for listening. Be sure to join us next time on Daily Story for a chilling tale of a lighthouse keeper who discovers the colossal warning bell isn't meant to guide ships, but to warn the mainland of the shapeless horrors that emerge from the fog in The Lighthouse Keeper's Dirge. That was The Echo Ward. We hope it sent a chill down your spine. This has been a production of Daily Story on the Magic Surprise F channel. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more audiobook adventures every week. Until next time, listen closely to the silence.